is more our style of cruising, isn't it?
It's a different sort of hanging on, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what we're normally doing, motoring into 20 knots.
Well, today's first casualties just happened. That's come off the mast. The wind's been howling out there, been blown to smithereens. Hanging on, look, the white knuckle ride. The motto for this journey is, the only thing that's certain is uncertainty.
Lovely day for a sail. Electric winches would be nice, wouldn't they?
Where's the fun in that?
Just trying to get up here in the marina, and we're doing 2.8 knots. The wind's blowing 27, 28 knots. And it's not very nice.
This is Brilliant 2, a Kelly Peterson 44 built in 1978. This is us, the Smallwoods. And this is the story of our long overdue boat refit. Wait, this is the story of a mid-refit sailing adventure. Welcome along for the ride. For this morning's update, delivered to you from the Brilliant 2 galley with my able assistant, the ship's cat Pepe here. Basically, we've spent a night in Horseshoe Bay at the top of Magnetic Island. It's been perfectly calm, even though the wind's been howling out there. We could stay here quite easily, but we've decided to head round into the marina at Nelly Bay for a couple of days while we get some stuff done and wait out this strong wind warning, and then we'll pop out after that. And the plan at this stage, of course it could change, because as we've said, the motto for this journey is, the only thing that's certain is uncertainty, but the plan at this stage is to go on to Orpheus Island and then Hinchinbrook after that. It's sort of difficult to show all that planning at the moment because it's not normal. So there's significant weather and also passage planning looking at long term, because we have to get back. We're not just going forwards, we actually have to turn around at some point. So that's where we're at. Right, let's get this show on the road. All right.
Nice sleep, it's cold.
Yeah, nice sleep. That's it. Wild and woolly, that's for sure.
Well, this is more our style of cruising, isn't it?
It's a different sort of hanging on, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what we're normally doing, motoring into 20 knots. Just trying to get up here in the marina, and we're doing 2.8 knots. The wind's blowing 27, 28 knots. And it's not very nice. Lovely day for a sail. Reminds me of the Solent, the same colour, grey green.
Yeah.
Not very tropical.
It's quite hot though. It's a lot
hot.
hotter
It's
than
not like the Solent
yeah,
at
the
all.
Solent never gets this hot. The entrance to the Magnetic Island Marina faces into the prevailing south and easterly winds, so in boisterous conditions it can be a whitewater ride going in and out. But with Brilliant 2 safely tied up to the dock, we could relax a little. Magnetic Island is the place to spot a koala in the wild, get up close and personal with a wallaby, and even participate in the world's longest running cade toad racing. But more on that in a future video. For now, it was time to rest and recuperate, ready for the onward voyage. Well, we're underway again.
Guess what?
The strong wind warning's been dropped, so it's a mere 15 to 20.
Touching 20.
It's about 20 now. And we've got out of the marina at Nelly Bay with a few hiccups. Should have filmed it really, we just didn't have it together, but anyway. Here we are, on the high seas again. Been blown to smithereens. Hanging on, look. The white knuckle ride. Just got the main up. Once we get onto our course, we'll be able to get the jib out as well. And hopefully things will settle into a bit of a rhythm.
Sleeping off a 3-course breakfast.
Which wasn't as good as Mum's.
Joshy just found out the meaning of all you can eat breakfast buffet. Look at it, look. Where are they? Just worn the life jacket for the first time for a long time. In fact, we just had to get them serviced because they're out of date. And I felt very safe up there. I knew that if I fell in the water and these guys had to turn around and get me, I'd be able to wave both arms and not drown.
We did actually say that we should have been wearing our life jackets the other day when everything was really hairy coming from Cape Upstart to Magnetic Island in the end, especially around that whole bowling green area. I think the reason that we don't wear them so much is because of our centre cockpit and that whole sort of much more safe and comfortable feeling that we get being in here. But you can't go out on deck without a life jacket on in these sorts of conditions. And to be honest, when it's like that, even though we're sort of feeling safe in the cockpit, we should probably put them on. Safety first. Well, today's first casualty's just happened. That's come off the mast.
It's a boom bang bracket and it's come off before. There's so many holes where these bolts have been put in different places on the mast. It's obviously a weak link and needs some kind of strapping around it. But for now, I'm just going to do a jury rig on it so we've got something to attach the bang to.
jury rig bag?
Well, we'll see, won't we? It's on there with the 250 kilo breaking strain ratchet strap.
Yeah.
So if that breaks, then we'll have to think of something else. Maybe put another one on, 2 of them.
2.
You've just got to tighten this main up a bit, because pressing on the spreaders at the top, it'll wear it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull it in a bit. Electric winches would be nice, wouldn't they?
Where's the fun in that?
Where's the exercise? Look at that. Look.
Oh.
You know what we haven't got on there?
What?
Chafe protect.
On the sail?
No. Anyway, we'll do that because there'll be a slight mark there.
Yeah.
Where they touched.
So
we'll
now we know where to actually put the chafe protection.
Yeah. And it doesn't help
Yes,
when the vang isn't tight.
Yeah.
Tighten it up a bit more now. Can't tighten it up.
How come?
There's too much wind in it. That'd help if we were to pull that down there.
We could put a block on it or something.
No, we should have done.
What?
Go on with just the jib. Not wind.
Now, where's the fun in all that?
Well, we've just filled out the log and Josh had a question about it. What was your question, Josh?
What is a log?
It's the ship's record of hourly record usually of the distance that you've travelled in the last hour and how fast you're going, the weather, etc., and what your heading is.
And why is it called the log?
It's called the log because to judge the speed of the boat, which is so important for navigation, they used to throw a floating object, usually a piece of wood attached to a piece of rope so you could get it back afterwards. They'd throw it in at the bow and they would time how long it took to get to the stern. So they knew time and they knew distance because they knew the length of the boat. And by using time and distance they could work out their speed. Very important at sea. And that's why it's called a log.
That was today's little piece of nautical memorabilia. You gonna look up where we're going, Josh? Look up Fantome Island. That's our destination.
Okay.
Fantome Island is one of several in the Palm Island group, the largest being Great Palm Island with its permanent population of mostly First Nations people, and the best known being Orpheus Island with its research facility and luxury resort. Sandwiched between these two, Fantome Island has its own distinct identity, which we would now discover more about.
Well, this is a lot more civilised, isn't it? I know we've had a breakage today, but otherwise it's been quite pleasant, really. Nice downwind run.
Yep.
Well, we're on approach into Juno Bay. That's us, a little boat there. Juno Bay up here on Fantome Island, a place we've never been to before. And there it is, over here. We'll get the sails down soon and go in and have a look. Well, we've arrived.
Yay!
Hooray! Just putting the snubber on to the anchor chain. Done a bit of a circle just to make sure we're in a nice clear patch. There's a big fringing reef that comes out all around here, just quite a distance from the shore, so we are a reasonable distance from that as well. Well done, babe.
Well done. High five.
And we're ashore. We're going for a walk to look for the remains of the old leper colony. Apparently there's some buildings here, and when they were abandoned they were all burned down. Oh, we found the first marking.
I found an old bed. There's a bed up here.
Bed and breakfast, anyone? Hot tip number 1, make sure you're wearing shoes when you come up here, because there's some really nice, sharp, prickly cactus, as Julian just found out.
Asbestos everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
There's a sink.
Shame we just done the reef it, eh?
There's another sink.
This is not quite what I was expecting. For some reason I was expecting sort of older ruins and not so much debris. Do you know what I mean?
You mean you thought they might have cleaned it up a bit?
Well, I mean, I was expecting like these slabs. God, they're small, aren't they? They must have been just really small, like what, 1 bedroom
Yeah.
huts or something.
Yeah. So here's a bed. And there's a fridge compressor, so it's not that old.
Well, no, I think it was the 1970s or something when they moved out of here.
Yeah, right. 1939 to 73.
Memory of the Patients, Sisters of Our Lady, Help of Christians, Franciscan missionaries and staff who lived and worked on Fantome Island, and in respect for those who died here from 1939 to 1973. Erected on the original site of the Mary Immaculate Church.
It's like a road here. 2 curbs running right down there. Look, these are lamps. Still got the wiring in them.
Yeah, well.
Look, the old bayonet bulb fixing.
Well, this looks like a slightly bigger building. I wonder if it was like a bathhouse.
That's
or
what I reckon. Look, steps going down.
And then there's 2 baths here. And a water tank over there in the trees.
There's a concrete structure over there. It's like a dunny. Oh, there's loads more stuff.
But it was quite the community then. It goes on for quite a way.
That's got to be a dunny. Yep. No. Oh, there's a dead animal in there.
Ew. Yeah. I don't think I want to see the dead animal.
Well, it's a skeleton of a dead animal.
Nice.
That was a nice sink, cast iron.
So we've actually come across the island.
Yep.
1 solitary palm tree.
Vanuatu.
Oh my
Water bottle.
goodness. Wow. There you go. That's how far your rubbish goes, peeps.
Yeah, it's from Vanuatu.
There's even a plant pot round here. Well, it sort of puts the abandoned resort thing into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's more than an abandoned resort, it's a whole abandoned like little community.
Yeah. That's a cylinder liner out of an engine. These would have been generator pads. And there's a fuel tank.
This is the biggest one yet.
Maybe this is the main community hall. Oh, remember it was a religious place.
Yeah.
So they would have had a church somewhere.
It said that plaque was on the site of the original church.
Maybe. This is the biggest slab we've seen though.
Yeah.
Asbestos. Oh, it's an engine. That's a complete generator. Yeah, that thing I showed you that I said was a cylinder liner. There's one of them in the engine. That's a generator.
Oh, Josh, I'd love this.
He's only there.
I think I just heard a goat as well. Apparently goats were once introduced to this island and they're still here. Taking the small boy up there. Here, let's have a look.
Why would they use a generator?
Because they wanted power.
Electricity, right.
Oh, wow. Pretty intact, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ants.
Lots of ants.
Another big slab, look. It's huge.
I know.
Like a town.
Yeah. Well, a little village anyway.
Yeah.
Well, here's the goat proof. Look, there you go. Skull. Yeah. How's that?
That's been around a long time.
Yeah.
What a beauty. We'll put that on the bow of the boat.
No.
One thing more macabre than the island's goat skulls was the brutal reality of its history as a leper colony. Make no mistake, this wasn't about treating a disease, which, as it turns out, isn't that contagious at all. This was about fear, racism, segregation, and subjecting human beings to a fate known as living death. Fantome Island was an island of death, a place from which many people never returned, where those tiny concrete slabs give just an inkling of the substandard living conditions people faced. To put this into perspective, mortality rates were so high that of all the patients transferred to Fantome from southern Queensland's Peel Island facility in 1940, 80% were dead within 5 years. Fantome's sordid story began when it was designated a lock or prison hospital for Indigenous people and a facility for Aboriginals with venereal disease. In 1892, the state of Queensland introduced the Leprosy Act, allowing forced removal of those afflicted with the disease and incarceration until their symptoms had abated. In an extension of Australia's infamous Stolen Generation policy, First Nations people and South Sea Islanders diagnosed with leprosy were taken from their families and institutionalised. Some, like 7-year-old Joe Egmales, found themselves on Fantome Island, transported over 1,000 kilometres under police escort by rail and sea. The tale of the 10 years Joe spent on the island is told in the powerful feature-length documentary titled simply Fantome Island. I'll put a link to the trailer in this video's description, and if you've made it through this far, then thanks for watching and caring about a topic Australia would happily have swept under the carpet until not so long ago. It certainly got us thinking, and proved it's not all beer and skittles you find when you set off cruising, but sometimes that is what makes it most worthwhile.